This is my cheap BMW M550, but when I got it, it looked a little more like this. But then, in the last episode, I started taking apart the interior in order to retrofit a different sound system and also the LED headlights, which left the car looking like this. And in this video, we're finally going to finish off the interior transformation for good. But there's still a lot of work to do, because even though we're finished with the wiring for the seats and the sound system, we still haven't done the wiring for the LED headlights. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so now I'm just going to take out the footwell module, which sits right here. Because I have to do some wiring for the LED headlights. Alright, so I already talked a little bit about these headlights. As you can see, this is the plug for a xenon headlight, which my car originally had. This wire, which is yellow and green for me, is supposed to be red. Now we can't just change the color of the wire, but we actually have to rewire some stuff, because now this yellow and green wire is going into the footwell module, which I already showed you guys, where this sits. And what we actually have to do is make it so this yellow wire is instead going into the fuse box in the rear of the car, which then the LED headlights get more electricity and supposedly could be brighter or something. I don't know. So kind of hard to film, but you can actually see both of the wires I removed. The one is the yellow and green one from the left headlight, and the other one is the blue and yellow one from the right headlight. And these are the wires we have to redirect, so the LED headlights will get the needed electricity for them to work. Okay, so let me quickly explain this. The normal xenon headlights get their power supply from the footwell module, which I just showed you, but the LED headlights actually get their power from the back fuse holder from a separate fuse. And that means I somehow have to get a wire from the back fuse holder into the engine bay. Now, in order to save me quite a bit of time and effort, I used a different strategy. Because what I did is I took the original wires which went to the footwell module before and rerouted them into the back into the fuse holder. And really, this is all there is to the LED headlights. Now, I have heard that for an pre-LCI model it can be way harder retrofitting these, but fortunately mine is an LCI model. Okay, so a quick little update on how we are looking. As you can tell, I pretty much finished the wiring for the headlights as well. So pretty much all of the wiring is done. It's quite tedious and like boring work. It's just like pulling out wiring looms, putting like 1 or 2 new pins in and then just putting them back. Yeah, not too interesting, but I'll explain a little bit what I did. So the amplifier has 4 plugs total. One of them is just for the ground and the power cable, which the ground is right there, and the red wire, which you can see going all the way from there to the battery. Actually, it goes straight into the battery. Crazy if you ask me. The second one is just this plug, which is for all of the mid-range speakers and also the subwoofers. So 2 of the subwoofers right there and 1 mid-range speaker in each and every single door, 2 in the roofliner and 1 up front. The last plug is for the tweeters, so the high frequency speakers, 1 in each door, once again 1 in the middle and 2 in the roofliner. So the special thing about this exact amplifier is that it addresses all of them individually, which then makes for the best sound experience possible. And the last plug, which I almost forgot, is this green wire right here, which is a MOS wire. And basically what this does is it transmits light from one device in the car to another. So now what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to leave the car like this, so I'm not going to put in a carpet or anything, and I'm just going to plug in all of the necessary modules and computers. So the one for the climate control in the back, of course 2 seats, the car's head unit in front, as well as the display and the digital cluster. Alright, so look at this. This is the new interior for the F11. I already told you that I wanted to do a complete interior transformation for this car because I was very, very unhappy with the Alcantara like seats that were in there. Not in a great condition overall. I didn't really like the car looked with them. So yeah, this is the solution to this, hopefully. And as you can see, these seats are comfort seats. So we're getting rid of the sport seats because I want to daily drive this car, and the comfort seats are, yeah, well, very comfortable. You can also see these are perforated, so they are actually have active seat ventilation, so they're cooled seats in the summer, pretty cool. And also the back seats are actually heated, and also, as you can tell, we have the beautiful aluminum trim for the speakers in there. You can kind of see them a little bit through there. These yellow speakers, heated in the rear as well. They basically have it all. I really like the way they look. They are completely like black, smooth Nappa leather. And then you have these white stitching, as you can see back here. Looking very beautiful, in my opinion. And yeah, that's how I want to transform the interior. Hopefully now this makes a little bit more sense as to why I'm actually doing all of the wiring for the seats, because you saw that the car had like sports seats which didn't have any of these functions. So no massage, no memory on the passenger side actually, and no ventilation. But before we can go onto the new seats, I decided to put the dashboard back in, which now has this beautiful center speaker. Now, even though getting the dashboard out was probably 10 times harder, putting it back in wasn't easy either, and I still had to figure out a bunch of stuff, for example the wiring, not forgetting about any connections there. And as I told you, my mission right now is just to connect everything necessary for the coding to be done, and afterwards I can finish it off for good. Now, originally I did want to go with a full leather dash, but I figured that would be way too expensive, and honestly I just didn't find one, so yeah, this is what we're sticking with. Okay, so this is how we are looking right now. As you can see, the dashboard is in pretty much completely with everything there is to it. I also put in the gear selector and the iDrive controller and the airbag module right there, so just to be sure that everything works properly when I give power to the car for the first time, and there's not too many like fault codes for stuff still being unplugged. I try to pretty much put in everything like it would be when the car is like built together, so I skipped out on the like center console and all of that, and also, like, as you can see, seats and also the door panels aren't in yet. Actually, I'm going to put in the door panels though, because as you might have seen, they have the selector like button on the side for the memory and the massage, so that's something I would want to have plugged in once the seats get coated. So yeah. Okay, so let's start with the new all black leather door cards. For these, the most important thing is just to make sure you connect up all of the wiring, so for the lighting, for the speakers, and all of the other functions, for the locking mechanism and as well. Just double check that you have everything in place, because otherwise you're going to be taking them off again. On the other side, it's the same thing, and as you might remember, these are just held in with plastic clips and then one screw for the back and two screws in the front. And here you can finally see the speaker covers, which make a huge difference. With the door cards installed, I could move onto the seats, and as you can see, putting in these seats was quite a challenge, because they simply are so big that they barely fit through the doors, and I actually put in the passenger side seat from the back door because I couldn't manage to get it in properly otherwise. And the seats are then secured in place with 4 screws. And after finishing up the seats, I moved on to the back, where I put in all of these covers, which honestly wasn't even that easy, because I had to be very careful of the order of putting in all of the plastic covers. And the reason for that is just that at some point you can't put in another piece if you have missed one before, or you put the wrong one in first. But other than that, it wasn't as difficult, and with all of the wiring being hidden once again, it really starts to look like a car again and not like a part out. And the last piece to go in on this side is the one connecting the roof liner with the bottom plastic, and after that it's just the same thing on the other side as well. Once again, making sure that everything lines up well, sliding the seatbelt through on this top one, and also finishing up this side, the 2 panels connecting the roof liner with the bottom, And that's basically it. And to finish off the trunk space, the last piece to go in is this floor panel, which sits down in the middle. Okay, so my phone just died, but as you can see, I pretty much finished up the entire trunk space. All of the carpets are in, looking very good. Yeah, also put the floor back in, and yeah, now continuing, as you can see, with the rear seats. So the rear seats actually split apart when you take them out. So when you put them back in, of course, you're going to also have to put one side in and slide the other one in next. And after that, the seats are just secured in place with a screw, and then also this bottom piece can be installed. And of course, you also have to watch out for the seat belts. And once those are installed, I could put the rear seat bench back in the car, making sure to plug in all of the wiring for the rear seat heating. The last thing to go into place are these side bolsters, and just like that, the rear seats are finished. And even though we're still missing a bunch of pieces to go in, for example the interior trim on the door cards and all of the control panels in the front as well as the armrest, this still looks very good so far. So I just plugged in the battery, and as you can see, the ventilated and heated seats are actually working right now, which I have in the car. But other than that, nothing really seems to work, so still have to do some coding. Okay, so we just got done coding everything, and everything seems to be working quite fine. So the headlights work and also the sound system works, but the only thing which doesn't work is this door side has the same switch. Wait 1 second, I can show you. It's right here. For the massage, but that doesn't seem to be working, so I'm just going to check the wiring once more, make sure everything's fine there, and then afterwards we're gonna see. Now, I didn't do the coding myself. I had a friend of mine which actually knows how to do this stuff do the coding for me, because I didn't want to risk damaging any ECUs or stuff like that. And that's also unfortunately why I don't really have any video material of us coding the car, which my friend said he didn't want to be filmed, and I can understand that. So yeah, unfortunately I can't really show you that. All I can say is that the process looked very difficult and very complicated. To me, I only have a tiny bit of experience with coding like these retrofits and other stuff to the car, so I didn't really want to do it or felt comfortable doing it myself. And honestly, I think it's the best idea if you plan on doing any kind of retrofit to have a person which actually knows how to do this stuff do the coding for you, because honestly you need a ton of equipment and stuff like that, which I didn't have. So yeah. Okay, so carpet is in. As you can see, I also put in these covers over here, and now I only have to do the other covers where the seat belt goes through, and then I can put the seats a little bit back, vacuum out the front, and then hopefully we should be good. And also the subwoofer covers. Yeah. And it's just all of these tiny little details which make a huge difference when combined. Because if you can't remember from the previous episodes, these covers were completely destroyed, and even though you can't really see them because they're under the seat, they still had to be changed out if you ask me. I then added some more details in the footroom, changed out the normal gas and brake pedal for these aluminum trim ones, which just look a little bit better in my opinion. Probably not necessary, but still pretty cool. And after that I got onto installing the armrest in the middle, which I had to take the head unit out once more, so I had to disconnect all of the plugs once again from the head unit because I had to slide them through the center console. But this time around, of course, it didn't take me as long as the first time. And once the wiring was routed correctly, I could put back in the head unit, put in also the climate control piece, this huge interior trim as well, and of course after that also the cluster and the center screen for the iDrive, as well as the little AC vent on the driver's side. And then finally it's time to put in the center console. Like everything on this car, this has a ton of wiring inside, which I was very careful to route through properly, and after that I can connect them to the interior trim which sits in the middle, which has all of the control panels and the gear shift selector and stuff like that in the middle, which I had to screw in with one bolt, and after that was pretty much the middle of the interior, this center area, complete. Okay, next we're going to just put in this underneath cover right here, and we only have to bolt these up with 2 bolts, one on the other side as well, and then we're getting pretty close to finishing this interior off, because after that we just have to put in the steering wheel and these A-pillar covers. And you can see me doing that right here. Now, I have no idea why this video was so shaky, probably because it's a time lapse, but yeah, whatever. But now, just take a look at the new transformed interior. Okay guys, so this is the finished product. Let me know what you think about this interior in the comments down below. I think this is a huge upgrade when you compare it to the old interior. Now, we are still far from finished with this car. Of course, you saw the front is not assembled completely yet, and also there's a lot of mechanical issues I want to fix about the car. If you don't want to miss it, consider subscribing, and also leave a like and a comment if you made it this far into the video. And with this, until next time, bye bye.